It is for this time that you were called. It's for now in which you are anointed. And the potter has now put his clay in the oven. They're going to be hoping you fall, but the grace of God has got you. And it's like fire, Jeremiah said, shut up in my bones. Lift off. I will arise. You're burning with the fire. You're burning with the presence. You're burning with the preeminence. You are burning like the fire that burns in heaven. In God, we're going to see. Brought me through. I'm living this moment because of you. I want to thank you and praise you too. Mercy brought me through. Okay, now I have been talking about going back to church, and I spoke to the prayer warriors on yesterday when we was having prayer, and I said, you know, it is necessary. Every one of us must learn that we have to change. We have to change. Every one of us. There is nobody. Listen. I need to talk to your great and wonderful self. There is nobody here that must not change. Me, you, everybody. We all have to find room to change. What's next is the question I told everybody to ask themselves. What is next? Okay, now, the reason I entitled this Going Back to Church is because we have been churcherized. How many of y'all just been churched to death and you just, you know, you ain't even figured out yet? Why you go to church? Why do you go to church? Can somebody stand up and tell me? Well, we go to church because now, why do you go to church? I mean, that's a question you probably have only been asked by sinners. And if you, that's what we're supposed to do. What kind of answer is that? If you asked an elephant, do he use the bathroom in the woods? And you gonna say, why you do that? He gonna say, because we're supposed to. So that's how good your answer is. To say something to somebody like that because we have not yet learned how to defend the gospel in which we propagate. We always saying with something, we always standing out like with something, and we may even have a little something going. But when it really comes down to it, why do you go to church? Do you need help? Do you want help? Are you in the market for help? Do you like your life? Because anybody that follows Christ is going to lose that life. You understand? Because you're going to find another life. It's like living a life within a life. It's like living in a different world, responding to and dealing with the realities of this world. And so if we are to really be those types of Christians that, I mean, these people were doing some signs, wonders, and miracles, and they did stuff out of the kindness of their heart, you know. They did, and their hearts were set up to do what God wanted them to do. Of course, we got so many distractors right now. I mean, if you can't preach it by internet, then, you know, you're not going to reach a certain amount of your audience. And so, you know, the devil is fiber optic wise. I mean, every kind of sin you want to get in is accessible on the internet. And so once we begin to depend on that rather than our sensory, the result is young people now have no imagination. It's been robbed from you, and unless you get it back, and the reason you don't have any imagination because you're following falsities, you're following fads, you're following what's happening right now. And then what happens when right now change? You are an old person with no reality. And you are subjugated to the changing times. Simply because your imagination and creativity has been stolen by the illusion of the internet. What the internet says has to be true. It is your reality. Once it becomes your reality, you have no focus and no sense. You're losing your ability to write in cursive, and you're losing your ability to print. You're losing your ability to just tell everybody in here to handwrite a sentence. Handwrite. You know, how many of y'all like chicken? I like chicken. You like chicken, everybody? How many of y'all like chicken? You like chicken, right? What if the time came where you had to kill your own? Like it used to be. Huh? If the economic system shut down and computers failed all over the world, the cashiers wouldn't even know how to add up what you bought. And so commerce would shut down. Commerce would shut down. Now you can't buy chicken. Well, what's Sunday dinner? You can't buy a chicken. I'm sure the chickens will be happy, but I'm saying. Now the worst thing that can happen to that chicken is you know how to kill and pluck one and cook him. But I guarantee you, it ain't many people in this building right now under the age of 26 that know how to cut up a chicken. So then, if the economic system fails, you starve to death. Because you can't stand the sight of blood. You can't do no guts. You ain't never put a bone, you ain't put a knife to bone. Rabbit run right by your mouth and bite you. Before you can eat him. And then you wouldn't know how to cook him. All of your dreams never leave the dream stage because you never get serious enough about them for them to materialize as a reality. Did you know that the United States, that money has become its gross national product? Yeah, and everybody's trying to get into the money business. And that's how all of these crooks wreck the whole system. Because if I got a chunk of rock here that's worth $100,000, I cannot sell $500,000 worth of stock. But if I am good enough, I can make people invest in stock that it ain't capital to finance it. And then it's just the last one that gets some sense is the one that's going to be broke. When everybody starts to bail out and buy out, and according to what they have put into it, you take the other stuff that everybody else has put in it, and now the first person to get smart and say, I'm buying out. Okay, I'm selling all my shares back. Well, okay, now that person put in 25,000. Now remember, you only got $100,000 worth. But now you done sold 500,000 worth. So your percentage alone, after all the taxes paid and everything, is going to wreck what was started with and the total worth. And so as everybody else begin to cash out, everybody that has put in to bring this thing up to 500,000 is losing. And there's stuff that they'll never get back. What am I telling you? You are investing your life as a stock market. And you are lending yourself out to the cheapest bidder rather than the highest bidder. The Bible tells us if we can achieve to a certain level of mastery, the being led by the Spirit thing, you know, it's almost like a cult. You're a cult if you learn how to walk by the Spirit and not by sight. But the Bible says, the Comforter, which I will send you in my name. He didn't say in my place. He said in my name, the comforter that I will send you. He will guide you and show you things to come. He'll tell you, don't get involved with that. Don't get involved with this. Don't get involved with that. And you're walking by the Spirit. So no matter how good the offer looks, no, thank you. Okay, so most of us didn't catch that in time, so we ended up going back out in the world, you know. You know, I mean, you might have been going to church periodically, but you were in the world. You was in the world, right? How many of y'all done went to church and you was just totally sold out to the devil? How many of y'all done did it? Come on, you done did it at least once. Okay, all right. So then, realizing that, what is your propensity and potential for you to do that again? Exactly what would it take for you to backslide? Are you backslidden? Will you make a decision to come back since you're coming back anyway? Since you're sitting here, you might as well get here. I mean, come on. You know, if you act right, you might as well get right. That's what I'm saying. Now, when I got the conception of this title, Going Back to Church, it was like, okay, listen, I know you've been to church, and I know you came here from somewhere else. I know you had a life prior to this one that you trying out, this Edgar suit you trying to drive around. I know you had a life before that. But now, what if you could learn the seriousness of what going to church is, the power that's owed to you, and the method in which you can operate, and the spiritual knowledge and the wealth in it is more than a college education. It is greater than a collegiate attribute, whereas you would be successful in business. All you have to do is to apply yourself, Smokey. But you have all of this supernatural help that you just refuse to get because it causes you to have to change your attitude, which you have come to rely on so long that it's just hard to part with it. And you and your attitude are such good friends. Your attitude is telling you what to do, and you are the one that gives it life. Your attitude don't know that you can kill it. And it's time for you to make it understand that. Phew. Okay, now let's go back to church. I'm going to give you another problem tonight that you might want to consider. Amen? Okay, now let's start at Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Do I got a good setup going here? Have you figured out now that if things keep going the way they're going, I mean, all somebody got to do is snatch your iPhone, and you as dumb as a bag of hammers. You couldn't even find the bus station to catch a bus to get home. Everything about you is in your iPhone, in your iTouch. It's on your computer somewhere. So no wonder you getting robbed blind. And you think people are doing you a favor by sending you the latest offers that they have to offer. You think that's a good business, that boy. They know me personally, so they always say, yeah, you right, you doggone right. They know you personally. They know you personally as a fool who will give up money as long as they just keep throwing something at you. Huh? They got stuff now that if you log on to their websites, they are tracking you by how often you go somewhere. They have trackers now. They have systems that track you. And that's why I tell y'all with Facebook, you ain't did nothing but put your picture on the post office. You and John Dillinger gonna meet the same fate. Your Facebook is a wanted poster. Dead or alive. Well, you can go to our Facebook page, and yeah, they're killing you on that, but you ain't telling nobody. You're going by the average, grading on the curve. All right, work with me. Let's go. Y'all ready? Are you ready? Well, y'all want to go Amplified or regular Bible? Okay, let's do the Amplified then. Amplified, ready. Read.
I appeal to you, therefore, brethren,
Stop. Now, considering what Paul just said, he said, I can't make you do nothing. So he said, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to think about something. I can't make you do anything. I'm going to come at you hard because that's my personality. Huh? I have the personality of an axe. Okay? But see, one day you're going to need something chopped down. And then if you try to make me turn into a hammer and you need an axe, see, me and you both going to suffer. So then I have to ask you, can you change? Come on now. I know some of y'all are addicted to yourself, so you can't. Can you change? Might have to get your friend to grab your head and go. So you need somebody to grab your head, just raise it. No, don't raise your hand. Now, what I'm saying to you is, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, can I change? You have to come to reality, and you have to seek out a level of commitment to any answer you give, really. Because if you can't change and you keep saying you can't change, then you're already saying that I am going to turn down some opportunities. And if I can change, then I have to commit myself to that change, which start to figuring out what is it that I have to cut loose in order to make this change. You know, you try to make changes, then something come back and change you back. Whew. Okay, I'm just talking to myself then. I just talk to myself for the next few minutes. I'm going to get on up out of here, boy, because doggone it, I could be sleeping. You know, if I went in the cemetery, I'd have got, boy, amens that I got right then. Crickets or something would have said something. I don't believe in ghosts and hastesses, but, you know, it may be something out there. Okay, come on. Okay, just start from the top then, and then that'll make it easier for you. Come on. Ready, read.
I appeal to you, therefore, brethren, and beg you that you with all mercy of God, to make a scientific dedication of your lives, presenting all your members in practice
as a living sacrifice, holy, devoted, consecrated, and well-pleasing to God, which is your reasonable, rational, intelligent service and spiritual worship. So now it's telling you, rationally, intelligently, you know what you're supposed to do. And that's what keeps us all coming back to church. Intelligently, rationally, we know that we were created to worship. It's something in us that's going to worship something. So now you have to take your ration and your intelligence and point it at what you really worship. It cannot be sporadic. It cannot be a spread stream now. It has to be narrow like a laser. You have to tap into what you have to tap into 100% in order to get 100% of what you're entitled to. So read verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world. Do not be wait now. Do you understand that? You understand that? Do not be conformed to this world. Do not be conformed to Facebook. Do not be conformed to the pornography. Do not be conformed to child pornography. Do not be conformed to erratic shopping. Do not be conformed to lasciviousness. Do not be conformed. Do not be conformed. I don't care what the other kids is wearing. You dress your child like they got some sense. Do not be conformed. Their conformation is yours. If somebody was going to put you in jail by how your child act, would you be pardoned? Or would you be arrested? And see, I mean, think about that. And that gives you a level of responsibility with conscious awareness. See, some of us are not consciously aware of the output or the results of the output in different directions. Your child see you as one person. Your associates and associations see you as another person. Your colleagues see you as a different person. Now, you're getting the picture now. And so you look like something to everybody. And it may not be what you think you are, because to your child, you are how they're acting. And to your associates, you are how you're acting. Now, everybody deteriorates the picture you have of you by the time it reflects out to them. So then you can betray something that you cannot fulfill and only receive resentment for it, for your efforts, simply because of the picture you think you're reflecting is not the picture that everybody's receiving. And that in itself is kind of a humbling experience. The reality of it. You know, I really don't look like to these people the way I thought I did. That could be a humbling reality for anybody, myself included. See, preachers, I'm going to tell you, and I've told you that for numerous reasons. Whenever you preach, and you're privileged to preach a conference or anything, you should go back and look at yourself a minimum of 5 times. And don't see how good you did. See how poorly you did. See how bad you did. See what you could have done and see what you could have said better. See the point you was trying to make, even if you had to be reckless making it. The point was the important thing, not your charisma top. Are we working this? Verse 2 says, do not be conformed to this world, this age, fashioned after, adapted to its external, superficial customs. That means when fads change, it's all right if the fad is not going to take you one way or the other, but you know, you turn boom to dynamite and your personality go with it. See, it's all right to sauce up who you are. Sometimes we need a little saucing up. You are the salt of the world, but that salt needs to go on something. You know, the only way you gonna know salt ain't no good is you put it on something that didn't do no good. Hot sauce cannot do what salt can do. And salt cannot do what hot sauce can do. Now look at the table that we have spreaded, and the feast of the Lord is going on. What does your food taste like? Because your life is what you're cooking. You can write it as a quotation if you want to. It says, but be transformed, changed by the entire renewal of your mind, by its new idea. New idea. Where do I get new ideas? I look in the Bible and find out, whoa, that's available. Now, wait, now, come on, you know how to do it because you know how to go on the internet and shop and find out what's available. You can go on there on the internet and you can find out what's on sale way over yonder in New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Hollywood singing. And you know what's on sale. And you sitting over here in Germany, in Central Europe. And you can look and find out what chapter and what verse J.C. Penney is selling. What you interested in on? But you telling me now that you cannot shop in the heavenly department store. And you're buying it from your daddy's house. So you already got a discount. And the only thing he asks you is, just make me look good. That's all he said. Just, if you make me look good, I'm going to open another door that you can shop in. I will open up the windows. How do you window shop? I can open up the windows and pour you out. Such a blessing that you not have room enough. But you got to make me look good now. What you're going after, you got to make me look good. That's what Father's saying now. Anyhow, where we at? By his new ideas and his new attitudes, so that you may prove for yourself what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God, even the things which is good and acceptable and perfect in his sight for you. For by grace, unmerited favor of God given to me, I warn everyone among you not to estimate. Now, just take that into consideration. Where you are is where you are. You can call yourself a bird, but you got one move to try to do like a bird. And you either going to realize you ain't a bird or you going to leave here thinking you was one. So it is dangerous to think you're something that you're not, because when it comes to performing that which you think you are and you're not, it may hurt you very badly.
Order your copy of
Mrs. Satan.
Also coming soon. Pick up your copy of Mrs. Satan, the book.
The Bible says if he transforms himself into an angel of light, it is no wonder that he can transform himself into a minister of Christ. What is it that you are so busy trying to cover that you expose it? And no more than I wanted to be second, she don't want to be.
Act now. Order your copy of Mrs. Satan today. Also coming soon, Mrs. Satan, the book.